Hi, Mouse Planet. Alan Delinka back with you on show number 22. Cannot believe it. 22 weeks we've been doing this fun at home show. We've got a really full house again. Unfortunately, our returning champion is having internet problems. I hope he's able to rejoin us by the time we get to the Jibe Time portion of our show. I'm going to start off with news, as we usually do. There's a little bit of news that's broken more or less since our updates and things we haven't covered, and I'm going to go to my phone to make sure I get the news stories right. First and foremost was the very sad news this week that Chadwick Boseman, the star of Black Panther, passed away at age 43 from cancer. ABC showed the show Uninterrupted and a tribute to him this week. I understand it was very moving. I didn't catch it myself. I don't have broadcast TV in the house. The other sad news that was reported by the Orlando Sentinel today, and Jeremiah just pinged that he'll be back. That's what happens when my phone's not on Do Not Disturb. Judson Greene, the former leader of Walt Disney World from, I think, just over a decade ago, he also passed away today. The circumstances of his death weren't fully explored, but he was a long respected member of the team that helped expand the Disney parks overseas, and he was a philanthropist in town. He helped out at the Dr. Phillips Center when that got underway downtown. In hopefully optimistic news, our guest from week 5, Jeffrey R. Epstein of Disney, tweeted over the weekend that his routine colonoscopy turned up colon cancer. And so we wish Jeffrey well. He tweeted today that his surgery went well and that he was resting comfortably. So our thoughts are with Jeffrey. In theme park news, Disneyland apparently has delayed the opening of Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, but they did show pictures this week. Ken Potrock, the current head of Disneyland, posted some video of the vertical construction that's begun out behind Toontown. So sometime in about 2023 is when that shoots to be ready. And it's sort of ironic as I thought about it today, because Disney World was heavily promoting Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway at Disney's Hollywood Studios today. And, you know, the theme song of the attraction is "Nothing Can Stop Us Now." And right after the attraction opened, Disney World shut for an unprecedented amount of time. That just seems a little off to me. I don't know what was going on there. At any rate, that's the news that we have to share this week. I don't think Jeremiah has rejoined us yet, but we have a very special guest with us. And to introduce the special guest, I'm going to bring on my colleague, Chris Berry, because Chris,
hey,
howdy, is the one who's invited our very special guest this week. So Chris, why don't I hand things over to you? I think I just heard Jeremiah chime in. I did.
Right.
I see him in the green room. So we're good. Let me have you introduce our special guest, and we will chat with him for a while, and we will get into our game. So over to you, Chris.
Yeah, great. Hey, thanks, Alan, so much. Thanks, everyone out there in Mouse Planet world. One of the happier things I get to do on Mouse Planet is cover New York Comic-Con. And I've done that for several years with Mouse Planet credentials, and walked around and tried to sniff out everything Disney. And for the last 2 years, I've come across this gentleman in the Artist Alley, one of my favorite areas of the entire con. And that is where you get to walk down rows and rows of tables with artists, both large in the comic world and independent, and see what they're doing, see what they're up to, meet them. And I've had some nice conversations with this gentleman. His name is James Silvani. So let's bring him on. And
I'm still here. I need to take myself out of the stream. James, welcome. And you guys have a great chat. I will be here in the background if you need me.
All right, there we go. Hey, James, how are you doing?
Hey, so grateful to talk to somebody.
Yes. How are things in Hawaii? This is our first guest from off the continent.
Horrible, godforsaken island that I live on here.
Oh, my goodness.
In the middle of nowhere. No, everything is great here.
Good.
I found very little to complain about here.
That's absolutely. Well, we're all here, so we have very little to complain about, right? Yeah. So let's talk about how you got into this. What's your background in art or in comics? Or let's talk about where you came from for a little bit and then get into the Disney aspect.
Sure. Well, I started off doing comics probably 30 years ago, early 90s. My first comics that I worked on were the Animaniacs,
wonderful.
Warner Brothers Publishing. Yeah. And that's where I learned about all the intricacies of doing license work.
Right.
From there, I went on to publishing and then merchandise, packaging, T-shirts, such, and fell out of comics because the other stuff paid better. And something came back around, and I got interested in comics again and got put on the Muppets back when they were being published by Boom Studios.
Nice.
And the very successful run and Eisner-winning run that Roger Langridge had there. And I submitted some material and started doing the Muppets, and that lasted for a short run. And from there, moved on to Darkwing Duck. And it's been there ever since.
Yeah, now Darkwing seems to be your calling card almost, if you will. I've got my issue of the Darkwing Duck here. Orange is the new purple. Actually signed and autographed by you with a little drawing, so I'm pretty happy about that.
Name right?
I don't know. I think you did. You did say, "Chris, stay dangerous," which is great. So where did Darkwing Duck come from for you?
Well, as I said, I was working on the Muppets. They had already signed me. My editor, Aaron Sparrow, he was the main editor at Boom there for the Disney stuff, and he had assigned me to another Muppets book. We were doing Muppet fairy tales at the time. And I had just finished up with Muppet King Arthur. I was going to move on to Muppet Snow White. And he said, hey, in the meantime, can you do me some covers for some of our other Disney books? We want to do The Incredibles, Finding Nemo, a Mickey one here. And just for giggles, let's do a Darkwing Duck cover. And so I did that. And he called me up the next week and said, hey, I got some bad news. I'm going to pull you off the Muppet book. But what do you think about doing Darkwing for our 4-issue run that we had planned? And from there, it turned into an ongoing series because of the sales of the first issue, and I haven't looked back since.
Yeah, well, as well you shouldn't. Darkwing is one of those characters. He's got a huge following, actually, I think, out there in the comic world.
And I was in college by the time the Disney afternoon was really in full swing. So I wasn't watching a whole lot of cartoons, except for DuckTales mostly. Just because I was such a big fan of the Carl Barks comics. Those were the first ones I read growing up. I used to get those multi-packs of Gold Key comics that would read the old Carl Barks
Yes,
stuff.
of course. I have
They
stacks
sell
of
them
those.
at the dime store for in those plastic bags for $1. And,
yeah, we're the same age. So I remember those
so
fondly.
I had those. I just had this thing for the Barks stuff for years, and they made the cartoon, and God, I watched the heck out of those things. And then it was obvious to move on to Darkwing after that.
Right.
And just loved it. Loved everything about it. So sorry about that crash.
Yeah, that's okay. Was that you? Everything all right there?
Yeah. No.
Let's take a look at the Darkwing cover and some art of yours here. There we go. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, tell me about DuckTales too. I mean, DuckTales is something else that you dabbled in for a little bit, right? Or Scrooge?
Yeah, I did. Well, we did the one thing that everybody was waiting for was a Darkwing DuckTales crossover.
Yes.
And Lionel Castellani was the artist on the first couple issues of DuckTales, and things got away from people on one end or another. And by the time the crossover came over, I ended up having to do the artwork for pretty much both sides, the Darkwing issues and the DuckTales issues. I had a lot of help with the pencils, but I ended up inking the whole thing myself. And to say that I've drawn Scrooge and the nephews in something professionally is a definite career highlight for me.
Yeah, I would say so. And have you watched the new DuckTales?
I am so privileged and happy to actually say that Frank Angones, one of the producers of the shows, is a friend of mine. Before the show came on, he used to commission me all the time at San Diego Comic-Con for artwork, and we got to know each other that way. So about a year before the show came on the air, he said, hey, you want to come up and see what I'm working on? You might like this.
Yes.
And Aaron Sparrow, the writer of Darkwing, and I both went up there, and just jaw dropped, was blown away by what they had in mind for the show. And some early animation we got to see, and so I've been up a few times since then too to see what else has been planned, and I can't tell you, I'm such a huge fan of that show. It's like,
yeah,
because we got to do irreverent stuff in Darkwing,
right.
maybe stuff that wouldn't necessarily think of with Disney, but because these guys have a TV budget, they were able to take that to the next level, and I think they just do a fantastic job, especially what they're doing with Darkwing now.
I totally agree. I think it's a great show. Finally, during this pandemic nonsense, my sons and I sat there and binge watched the series, and it's great. It's great storytelling. It's great animation. It's different animation than the original, but it looks good. It looks good. It looks cool. It's a lot of fun, and I'm kind of glad that it seems like Disney is, when we were at Disney World in the fall, we got to take pictures with Launchpad, and we got to take pictures with with Scrooge. So it also seems like Disney is not just out there with it on the channel; they're behind it too. They're promoting them in the parks, and they're promoting them. So it's a good thing. You think there's any chance of your boy Darkwing getting revisited someday or something?
Well, I would love to go back and do some more comics. I mean, that is always going to be my love. When I got into comics, I knew I was never going to be a superhero artist. I was never going to be drawing Batman or Spider-Man or anything like that, because that's probably not in my wheelhouse. But that I got to draw a superhero duck was just the greatest thing for me. We'll see how, as far as on TV goes, how well the next round of Darkwing episodes of DuckTales are received, and you never know.
Who knows?
Yeah.
All right. So you mentioned some that you do some commission work too. So so that's one of the things that I did with you that day, is that I bought a wonderful little drawing of Gurgi from a movie that is much maligned and much forgotten about, and yet he is one of my favorite characters. And so let's talk about some of the other work that you do as well.
Well, so it was interesting this year. But most of the last 3 years, I've done a lot of convention work since Darkwing has been taking a break, and I live in Hawaii, but I still was traveling to the mainland about 9 or 10 times a year just to do conventions. And I thought, okay, 2020 is going to be different. After New York Comic Con last year, I said, I'm going to take next year off. I'm going to not go do all this traveling. I'm not going to do all this prep work. I'm going to get back to my own stuff. And I'll take commissions here or there, and I'll take the material that I had left over from last year's conventions, and I'm going to build an online store, which is what you have up there now, is my online store, and just sell off that old material. So who knew that nobody was going to be traveling this year? I tell you, I planned it right. Where I wish I could say this was all part of the plan, but it wasn't. And here we are. So luckily I put the right contingencies in place. And so I had another book that is coming out in the fall, which is a book called Cave Club, which is around promoting a new set of toys that are coming out from Mattel later on this year.
Oh, great.
And there's an accompanying graphic novel that's with it, that's coming out in October, which you can find in bookstores. And in the meantime, that's what I've been doing, is I've had my online store, and I probably once or twice a year, I'm going to open up for commissions. I did a round based around the virtual San Diego convention. Right. And I will probably open maybe around the New York Comic Con again for another round. So you can just go to my website and it says whether it's open or not. And you can email me with your requests and we kind of go from there.
That's awesome. I mean, when I look at these drawings, you know, I'm looking right now at your page. I'm looking at Johnny Appleseed and Willie the Giant and the hippo ballerina from Fantasmic. I mean, it's quite obvious you're a Disney fan. I mean, you're not drawing just Mickey Mouse. You're drawing some of
that's my first love. I mean, I grew up actually in Orange County in California, and I always had a relative who worked at the park. So I was there even growing up before annual passes or anything like that. I was at the park 2 or 3 times a month, and
Great.
It shaped who I am today.
Well, since James has said he'd stick around to play our game, I'm going to break the conversation here. We're going to put you guys in the green room. I'm going to bring everybody out for the game. And after our first break, Chris can pick up with James and talk about some more of his artwork.
Excellent.
All right. So let me put you guys in the green room. And while I am playing with buttons here, I'm going to play our theme song for the game. If I find the right button in here. Here we go. And I'm going to then bring the contestants and the panelists in, and we'll have our next edition of Jibe Time. All right, so Jibe Time. I'm going to bring in each of our panelists, and somebody is trying to get in, but the room is full. I think Jeremiah fell off, so let me take Jeremiah out of the stream, and hopefully he can get back in here. All right, there we go. All right, let me start to bring folks back in. I'm going to start with Todd King. Todd, welcome to the show. Todd is our Star Wars correspondent, and of course we had Star Wars news that I was sharing with him. That The Mandalorian is going to start dropping episodes in October.
The day before Halloween. Woohoo!
There we
Get
go.
Your costumes
All right.
ready.
All right. So I see Jeremiah's made it back. Let me bring back Chris Berry.
Hey,
welcome
here
back,
I am.
Chris. That's 3 people. If I'm doing this right, I'm going to bring in Lisa Stiglick. That's 4. And now for our returning champion, and hopefully his internet connection has stabilized, Jeremiah Good. Welcome back. No, he's shaking his head.
Right now I am.
All right. So far, so good. All right. And Jeremiah's opponent is Trinice. Welcome, Trinice. Trinice, you are muted.
I sure am. Hello, hello.
There we go. Go ahead and introduce yourself to folks, Trinice, to folks in our audience, Trinice.
I will do that. Hello, everyone. My name is Trinice. I used to be a cast member at the Walt Disney World Resort. And actually before that, in 2010, I was a cast member at Disneyland. So check me out. And now I am living and playing on the west side of LA. I no longer work for Disney, but I still love it very much.
And so that's where Jeremiah and I got to meet Trinice some years back. And let's see if I can bring everybody in. So Trinice is our challenger. I'm now going to bring in the talented and lovely Carol Stein. Carol, welcome.
Hi, everybody.
All right. So Carol, thank you for joining us. I'm going to bring in Todd Pickering, who is our scorekeeper.
Howdy,
welcome
everyone.
back, Todd. And of course, this is Todd here too. I'm going to bring in our correspondent, Greg Jacobs. Welcome, Greg. Greg has gone with a different franchise. He's coming to us from the holodeck somewhere in the back of the ship today. And I'm going to bring our special. What's that?
The sci-fi blinds behind me.
It so looks like that.
And I'm going to bring James back in, who's agreed to play our game. So welcome, James. And if I hit this button here, everybody should be lined up with Jeremiah in the top right corner and Trinice in the bottom. And Jeremiah tells me that StreamYard has an update that I guess I haven't gotten yet. The update is that I could have done this without having to be so meticulous and getting everybody on the screen in the right order. So everybody's welcome back. Jeremiah is our returning champion. Jeremiah was already Wazowskiing himself, but I'm going to do it in the big way that the champion always gets at the beginning and end of every episode. He gets our Mike Wazowski moment.
Yay.
And it's a logo.
TV.
There we go. So in the Jibe Time game that we play here, I will need to share the Jibe Time engine with the screen so that everybody can see it. That is the Jibe Time game screen button over here. There we go. MousePlanet Jibe Time Live. We've got a question in each episode to each player, picked by the players. We got a whole bunch of them still available. But the sample question that I read out to folks that did not load when I clicked on it, the game works like this. I ask a fill-in-the-blank question like this. Did you hear after all these years at Disneyland, Disney's lawyers finally got to Mr. Toad's Wild Ride? When the park finally opens, the new safer version will be Mr. Toad's blank ride.
Sanitized.
And then sanitized, socially distanced, safer, milder.
Mild.
Yeah, we had all
was the
great
winner.
answers. So each Trinice and Jeremiah will each get to pick a question from those that are remaining, and everybody gets to write an answer, even you at home. Please give us the question number. Each question has a number. You'll see the numbers on the screen in a moment. Give us the number of your answer and your answer. We will ask the questions. We'll spend some time chatting with James, and then we will look to each of our contestants' answers, and we will look to each of your answers and each of the other panelists' answers. Got all that?
Spectacular.
Yes,
Is
Jeremiah.
Carol going to play the music in between each question?
I don't know. She's got a right. We'll give Carol some solo time. No worries.
Multitask.
So, all right. So, Trinice, you are the challenger. Jeremiah is the champion. And if you can see on the screen, well, you could see it if I actually hit the share button again, but I haven't done that.
Such a producer.
There we go. Yeah, I got to produce and host at the same time. You can see there's some green numbered questions on the screen, Trinice.
Yep.
The green ones are the ones available. We got 2, 3, 9, 11, 12, 15, 19, 21, 2, and 3. What would you like as your question?
Let's start with question 11.
Number 11. Here we go.
11.
Number 11. Oh, it's one of my favorites. I've often said that to protect against intoxicated ECV drivers, those are those little electronic carts at the parks, to protect against intoxicated ECV drivers running down guests in the parks, breathalyzers should be installed on the ECVs. Disney's animated character blank could even be the marketing logo.
Oh my goodness.
All right, you guys ready?
And so
Who
I
should
write
be
this
the-
down, correct? Or I just say it? Sorry.
You just you write down an answer for the blank, and
Said.
everybody's going to write down the answer for the blank. Give us question number 11 in your answer, and I'm going to hit the right Jibe Time button and play some music while everybody writes. So who should be the marketing logo character for the breathalyzer on ECVs? Ready? Let's play some Jibe Time.
Doesn't he have a drunk character?
Oh, it doesn't necessarily
That's what
have to
I'm
be a
wondering.
drunk character.
Oh no.
Denise is looking scared.
I'm like, because I know who I want to pick, but I don't know what his name is.
All right. So please make sure your answers are written, and those of you in the audience who've given us answers in the comments, hopefully you put the question number in front of it. I will go back to the game engine, and we will have Jeremiah pick his question for this round. And it would help if I put it back on the screen. Jeremiah, which question would you like?
Number 2.
Number 2.
Number 2.
Question number 2. A Star Wars question. In Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, Disney says guests live their own adventure by flying the fastest hunk of junk in the galaxy. Since joining Disney, Bart Simpson now sells rides aboard blank, a Springfield hunk of junk.
Ooh, wow.
Who is the Springfield hunk of junk? Ready? Let's play some Jibe Time.
Sounds right.
This would be a bad time to mention that I've never watched The Simpsons.
Oh my god. Never?
Well, you can come up with anything that might be in Springfield. And that was question number 2 for folks who are writing answers at home. That really does look like the holodeck, even close up.
It's creepy.
I'm gonna use
All
this from
right.
now on.
So hopefully everybody's going to catch up and get a chance to write. But what we're going to do is I'm going to put Chris Berry back up on the screen.
Here I am.
And Chris, you can go back to asking James a couple of questions. Everybody else, if
I
you
did.
mute your mics, I'd appreciate that. Go ahead.
I wanted to take a look, if you don't mind sharing my screen. So, in addition to the comics, and in addition to some really cool characters that you draw, you've got some really nice looking fine art here on your site.
Thank you.
This Rocketeer image, once again, you're just a Disney fan. I mean, not everybody chooses the Rocketeer. So what's your inspiration for this stuff?
Well, actually, so this was done for one of Disney licensees, Cyclops Printworks, and they had a list of ones that were available to do. And that was one of the few ones left on the list. I thought that would have been one of the first ones to go, that another artist might have picked that. But luckily I was able to grab onto that one and go. And I mean, I just love that movie. It's such a fantastic movie. It came out at the right time.
Right.
I mean, Joe Johnston's directing was amazing, and it's one of those rewatchables. Anytime it's on, I'll just stop and watch it.
Right, right. I hear you. And then as I move forward through your list here, you got a great looking Star Wars piece here.
Thank you.
I think, and then I could keep going on.
That's actually what I've been spending my time doing during the quarantine is doing a rewatch of the Clone Wars and Rebels.
Oh yes,
on Disney Plus, and that was a big inspiration for that because I watched it episodically when it was on, but once I was able to watch the whole thing together and put together that piece, picking all the aspects from the different eras of the show, it was a lot of fun to do.
Right, we got a great Incredibles piece here as well, which I really like.
Oh, thank you. That was for when the movie came out, they did a Incredibles 2 tribute show at Gallery Nucleus, and I was lucky enough to take part in that. And that was the screen print I did for the show.
Awesome. Great stuff. Check out his site. Check out his site when you get a chance.
Let me put that back on the screen one more time here. There we go. And I see folks have given us answers to our 2 questions, and so I'm going to put question 11 back on the screen, which was Trinice's question, which requires me to push that button and this button and this button and this button and this one over here. That's a few too many buttons to push to get to it, but there it is. All right. Question number 11 was Trinice's question. This is the mascot, and I'll read the whole question again. I've often said that somebody's mic is open and is scratching. I'm not sure what that is, but everybody else, make sure your mic is not open when we are coming to you for answers. I've often said that to protect against intoxicated ECV drivers running down guests in the parks, breathalyzers should be installed on ECVs. Disney's animated character blank could even be the marketing logo. Trinice, your answer, please.
I don't know if you can see this, but I went with Big Al from the Country Bears.
Al. That's a pretty good answer.
Good choice.
Definitely
That is a good one.
all the time.
All right. So let's see if Trinice gets any points from our audience at home. We've got answers from Dave Kent, who gave us Goofy, which seems pretty appropriate.
Seems logical.
We've got Mater, also pretty appropriate.
Mater, yes.
We've got Goofy from Nan Kent. We got Mr. Toad, and we all know how well he drives.
Toad's wild.
That's good.
Alex Wittenberg has come up with a new one, Drunky the Eighth Dwarf.
Oh, I always knew there was a...
We got I got Mater here. I think that's the same person again. I got the Pleasure Island Pinocchio. That's a very obscure version of Pinocchio. I got Jeremiah sharing Pinocchio. I see up there. We've got the Dormouse.
Oh, Shelley. That's a good
Shelley
answer.
says hi.
Oh, Shelley!
And wait, Shelley's giving us an answer to number 11 there. I see. I'm sorry, number 2. I see one more 11 in the stream here. I think there we got Dumbo. Oops, we got Dumbo as an answer. So far, no points for Trinice.
Tragic.
But there's certainly a chance here, although not with Jeremiah, since he's already shared that his was also Pinocchio. So if we need a tiebreaker, Jeremiah's already matched with an audience member.
Oh.
All right, so let me start bringing up people here, sort of at random. Todd Pickering, please unmute. I'm coming to you. Todd,
I
you're
was
keeping
ready. I have
score
my
as
finger on
usual.
it.
Your answer is
Well, I was going with I just thought the most advanced breathalyzer would be Ava from Wall-E.
She's a good breathalyzer. Greg Jacobs, I'm coming to you. Greg Jacobs, your answer, please.
For not a great reason, I think I went with Jose Carioca from the Three Caballeros. It just sounded like a brand of tequila for some reason.
I feel like he has a cocktail, a frequent cocktail.
Carol Stein, I'm coming to you. Please unmute. Here we go. Carol, what was your response?
Drinker Bell.
Drinker Bell.
Drinker Bell. Oh, wow. Lisa Stiglick, what's your response?
I went the other way and I went with the muscle. I went with Gaston. No one pulls you over like Gaston.
And he hangs out in a pub, so hey. And James, what do you got for us, James?
We drew too.
Pink elephant.
Oh, my
Absolutely appropriate. Absolutely appropriate.
That's a good one.
Chris Berry, what's your response?
And what I don't think about, I went Pete's Dragon, Elliot. I thought he could fire breathe.
Oh yeah.
He fired in the slot, like
And Todd King, have I come to you yet?
No, not yet.
All right, Todd, your answer, please.
Well, like Shelley in the audience, I was thinking of the same scene with the Mad Hatter.
A Mad Hatter.
Yeah.
All right. Well, have I gotten everybody? I don't think I missed everybody. I've gone through all the rows. So we've got no points for Trinice. Welcome. It's a harsh way to join.
Okay.
That was a hard one.
I think I only got one my first question last time, so that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, and so far really only Shelley has struck gold with lots and lots of matches, and that was perhaps too easy of a question. Let me bring Jeremiah's question back up. That was question number 2. And let me get that on the screen. There we go. This button here brings it back. We've got in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, Disney says guests live their own adventure by flying the fastest hunk of junk in the galaxy. Since joining Disney, Bart Simpson now sells rides aboard blank, a Springfield hunk of junk. And Jeremiah, who is that hunk of junk?
Well, I went deep. Santa's Little Helper.
Oh, the dog. Yeah.
That is pretty deep. Let's see what we've got here in the way of answers. We've got Shelley saying let me get that window there. We got Shelley saying skateboard.
Of course.
We've got Fallout Boy.
Fallout Boy. Nice.
We've got Lard Lad Donuts. I got Idobot.
Dobot. I get it.
Krusty Land's
Tilt
Tilt
and
and Hurl.
Nice, Alex. That's a
And
great
I
reference.
think those are all the ones I see here. Now, I don't know. Well, we'll see if any of you have the answer I had in mind when I wrote this one. I mean, I thought it was pretty obvious, but we'll see. We are looking to try to jibe with Jeremiah's answer. So let's go first with your opponent. Trinice, what do you got?
I clearly should have picked this as my question because I had Lard Lad's donut. Because I was not kidding when I said I've never watched The Simpsons, but I remember the donut from Universal.
Yes.
So I would like
hold up your sign. Hold up your sign.
Oh yes. So you can see I'm not lying.
Lord Land.
Now it's official.
Yep.
All right. Very good. All right. Todd Pickering, coming to you.
Okay.
Nice hat.
Thanks. I forgot Star Wars Scout. I went with Barney.
Barney.
Oh, Barney.
Greg Jacobs, coming to you.
Okay, if my answer is a little obscure, it's because I am married to a Simpsons fanatic and have seen every episode. So I started with the Springfield Tire Fire and then went with the Canyon Arrow.
Canyon Arrow. I remember that.
That's pretty obscure.
I wish I knew what any of these jokes meant.
You gotta watch The Simpsons.
They're funny.
Lisa,
They're funny.
Lisa, you've got a Simpsons name going for you already.
Yes, I do. I never played the sax, but I played clarinet, so I guess close enough. I actually met Shelley online. I said his skateboard.
Yeah.
Skateboard, all right.
He matched, just not the right person.
Carol, what do you got?
I've never watched The Simpsons.
That's all right.
Yay, Carol!
You've also been to Universal.
Doesn't really know anything about this.
What did you put?
A nuclear powered Prius.
There you go.
Oh well, they do work in a nuclear power plant, so that's
Yes, James.
That's really good.
Well, hopefully this will help.
Santa's
Little Helper. 1 point for Jeremiah.
Wow.
Wow.
Chris Berry, what do you got?
I went with the skateboard. Bart rides a skateboard. So
So Shelley's winning.
Shelley
is winning, yeah.
I think the biggest hunk of junk is the school bus driven by Otto.
Perfect.
Now you see, I thought the answer was obviously Homer. I mean, he always calls Homer a hunk of all sorts of nonsense, and I thought that would be the obvious choice, and not a soul picked it. Not anyone.
My question, why is there a Simpsons question on a Disney panel?
Because Carol, your company. Wait, there we go. They own this guy now.
Yeah.
He's part of the family. I got that at the D23 Expo from the Simpsons panel, where they talked to.
This is great.
What's that?
I call that edutainment. You just educated us.
That's what we do here. Yes. All right. So after the first round, Mr. Pickering, you've got the score noted. Jeremiah's got 1, and Trinice nothing. And how many did Shelley get?
Oh, am I counting Shelley?
Shelley got 2.
Well, Shelley's ahead.
Well,
She's doing well.
Shelley was pinging me that she wants to be on again. So hey. All right, so Trinice, since you're trailing, I'll let you go ahead and pick. Let me get the questions back on the screen.
Pick a good one this time for myself.
We will get the questions on the screen here. Here we go. We got 3, 9, 12, 15, 19, 21, 2, and 3.
Let's go with 3.
Number 3. Question number 3.
Oh, no.
Little Timmy Tourist was so naive.
How naive was he?
You guys still need some work on this, yeah. Little Timmy Tourist was so naive, he thought that waving his magic band in front of the castle would make blank appear. Who's going to appear when Timmy waves his magic band? Ready? Let's play some Jibe Time. Everybody, give us a number in front of your answer in the comments, please.
All right. Come on now. Come on.
Come on, guys.
We'll see how this goes.
Like
all right.
Clowns.
So that was question number 3 for Trinice. And Jeremiah, I'll put the questions back on the screen, and you can pick your question for this round. We got 9, 12, 15, 19, 21, 2, and 3.
23.
23. Jack Skellington goes into Trader Sam's Tiki Bar and tries to order a drink. The bartender says, "We don't serve skeletons here." Outraged, Jack said blank. What a nightmare. And for those of you who don't know, this is a classic joke scheme that improvisers use, and you see it on Hollywood Boulevard at Disney's Hollywood Studios all the time.
Really?
Jack Skellington goes into Trader Sam's Tiki Bar and tries to order the drink. Bartender says, "We don't serve skeletons here." Outraged, Jack Skellington said blank. What a nightmare. Puns are very welcome here, guys. Let's play some Jibe Time.
I have no idea what to put for this.
It's going to be some sort of skeleton pun. All right, there we go. So we've had 2 questions in the books. We're going to give our audience a little chance to catch up. Let me talk to Carol Stein for a moment, since I haven't had a chance to do that on a video recording like this since she was on our show way back in like week 2 or 3 or something like that. Everybody else mute, please. Carol, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm so excited to be here with these fabulous guests. This is great.
So since you were last on the show, you've toured the country in a new vehicle that you've obtained. What's that been like?
Well, when we were first told that we wouldn't be at work at Disney, we thought it was for 2 weeks, and then it was 4 weeks, and then they said you're furloughed until further notice. And I said to Lee, "Hey, let's go rent an RV. That's safe. I'll sterilize it." And he said, "Hey, let's buy one." So we bought an RV. And we drove 9,000 miles. We drove out to Yellowstone and all over the United States. And I said, "We'll travel till if Disney calls me back." And they did. And so we just traveled all around the country, learning how to be an RVer instead of a Ritz-Carlton girl. Now I go to Walmart.
And now you're back and performing in the World Showplace tent?
I love it. Yes. It's that big white building in between the pub, the UK pub, and Canada. And it's usually where they have like, what is it, Taste of the Senses? What do they call that?
Party for the Senses.
Party for the Senses, thank you. So it's that big building, and so it's enormous, and it's beautiful, and the lighting's gorgeous, and they have this huge stage with this gorgeous grand piano. I don't sing. I talk to the guests just to greet them and say a few food cuisine puns about music. And then I get to just play gorgeous, whatever I want, Disney music all day long. I get to just be a pianist. It's so beautiful. I love it. I love it.
And what's your performance schedule there now?
When they brought me back, they said, "You still want Fridays and Saturdays off?" I thought, "Gee, I know I'm not really going to be doing anything Friday and Saturdays for a while." But I said, "Yeah." So I'm still Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays. And then I start at 1:00 in the afternoon, and I'm finished. My last set's at 6, so I do 7 sets.
Very nice, very nice. All right. Well, thanks for joining the game today. Jeremiah, is your audio any better since you've been in the green in waiting there for a moment?
Was something wrong with my audio?
Did you texted me that your audio was off?
Oh no, that was earlier before I lost my internet for the 3rd time today.
Okay. All right.
Crazy.
All right, very good. Oops,
Nope, we lost somebody.
That was my mistake, but fortunately it didn't. It shifted Carol over to the side, but all is good. That's what happens when I cough and push a button at the same time. Let's put Trinice's question on the screen. That's not the right question.
We're starting with mine. Just kidding.
We're going to start with. Well, we could start with Jeremiah.
I forgot we haven't done it yet.
Let me get. You asked for question number
3.
How come I can't get that back on the screen? Come on,
either.
question 3.
Producer extraordinaire.
Yeah, let's see. There we go. Question number 3. There it goes. All right. I was going to say wrong franchise, but nice job anyway.
Well done.
All right. So question number 3. There we go. Little Timmy Tourist was so naive. Tourist.
Yeah, we're not doing
How
that.
nice was he?
Wow, you guys are getting worse on the repeat.
That was terrible.
He thought that wearing his magic band in front of the castle would make blank appear. And Trinice, who was going to appear? Let's see your answer,
I went
please.
with every kid's favorite, Mickey Mouse.
Mickey Mouse.
Yay.
All right. So that's a good answer. Good classic Disney response. We've got answers like Tinkerbell, Carol's favorite, from Nan Kent. We've got fireworks. Emily suggested it would make Walt Disney appear. But we already have a point for Trinice. Dave Kent gave us Mickey.
Oh.
All right, so score a point for
Coming
Trinice.
Yay!
We've got Pixie Dust. We got another Tinkerbell here.
Yay!
I got another Tinkerbell here.
Should have said Tinkerbell, clearly.
Hi, John.
I don't understand sicken.
Sicken.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that might mean. Let's see. Shelley says Tinkerbell. I think I like Alex's answer, the big ugly pink cake.
Wow. Old reference.
How old are you, Alex?
And we have this response that is not apropos of anything other than Carol's talent. Carol is amazing.
Yeah, you see that, Scotty? Thank you, Scotty.
So, Todd,
All right,
how many points did Shelley get in that round?
Shelley got a bunch of points, Todd. Todd's still muted. We'll wait for him to come.
I think that's 3, but I forget that Shelley's playing, apparently. Shelley's going to beat you two, so you don't want her to play.
Jeremiah, what did you have? Oh, I knocked him out.
Mickey Mouse, of course.
Mickey
Another
Mouse.
point for Trinice, but I've moved him to the wrong corner now. Oh, well.
Oh, well.
Trinice, we've got you. Todd Pickering, what was your response? Todd,
I went with Tinkerbell.
Tinkerbell, all right.
A lot of people went that way.
All right, let's see if I knock people out one at a time. I can put Jeremiah back in the right spot. So we'll take Todd out. Put him back.
Wow, got a little dark there.
Hey, Jacobs, what do you got, Greg?
Yeah, I matched with somebody. Unfortunately, not Trinice. I also said fireworks.
Fireworks. You matched one of the players at home. All right, add him back in. There we go. And let's see. I'm going to go to James. James, what do you got?
Mm-hmm. Walt.
All right, we got another Walt. You matched
Question
Emily
mark.
at home. All right, we'll take him out. We'll put him back. And we'll go to Carol. Carol, what do you got?
Tinkerbell.
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 Yeah, no point for that on that one for Shelley, but that's a good, clever one. All right. Let's see. I need to take Carol off the screen. That's me again. Hello, everybody. And there we go. I put Jeremiah back in the right position. How about that? It's just like StreamYard.
I thought I was supposed to be up there.
It's like magic.
I can't do that. I can't do that. That would have required taking Trinice out too. All right, Lisa, what do you got?
Everything.
I have the mouse.
Nikki, another point.
Ooh.
Another point. Shelley is complaining in the comments that she played the wrong week.
Yeah, totally. She's on fire tonight.
But she did have all those points a couple of weeks ago against Panda. That's how she wiped him out. Chris Berry, what do you got?
I mean, it's Cinderella's castle, so
that was my thought when I wrote the question.
I almost said Cinderella, but I didn't think that a boy would want her to appear necessarily.
Well, maybe not.
Wow. All right, Todd King, what do we got?
Free country.
Well, I agree with Chris.
Yeah,
Cinderella.
It's her castle.
I wanted her to appear, certainly, out of the mosaic and everything.
So Todd Pickering, I wasn't keeping track. How many points for Trinice in that round?
That's 3 points for Trinice.
And Jeremiah's score before we go to his question?
1.
Jeremiah's got 1 point. All right.
And Shelley?
Don't call it a comeback.
Shelley has 5.
Geez, Shelley is winning by a lot. All right. So, Jeremiah, you had question number 23, if I recall.
Yes.
And let me get 23 back on the screen here. This is this joke from Hollywood Boulevard that people either do or don't get, but I'll put it on the screen. Jack Skellington goes into Trader Sam's Tiki Bar and tries to order a drink. The bartender says, "We don't serve skeletons here." Outraged, Jack said blank. What a nightmare, Jeremiah.
I'm the Pumpkin King.
I'm the Pumpkin King. All right. And we've got answers from the audience. Let me get those on the screen here. I see boo.
Oh, that's good.
But and we got also boo from Emily.
Yes.
So Shelley gets another point because she matched Emily. Nan Kent has the answer that I was thinking of, or something like it, because she says bones. The joke is always some sort of pun on why the skeleton's being thrown out there. So the joke in my mind would have been, I have a bone to pick with that. Right? That's the joke style that they do there. We've got boo. We've got funny bones.
That's good.
That's another point for Shelley.
That's another, no. Shelley had boo.
Oh, that's right.
And I
Just give her
got
the point
Alex.
anyway.
I got Alex Wittenberg, sophisticated, tibia honest. You're a real numbskull. It also fits the format of the style.
That's
and
brilliant.
Shelley says he wins, so maybe he gets Shelley's slot on a future show.
Yeah.
Let's see if there's anything else here. Tim Ellison wants Shelley back on the show.
Did you get Dave Kent's answer?
What was Dave Kent's answer? I don't know if oh wait, we do. Yeah, he's got the one that I just suggested. I got a bone to pick with you. That's exactly my answer. So Dave Kent gets a point. Make sure we note that Dave Kent gets a point because he matched my answer. All right. So let's see. We've got who do I need to put on the screen? Let's go to Todd King. Todd, what do you have?
I had no idea with this, so I just said how dry bones I am.
Yeah, dry bones I am.
All right. Chris Berry, what do you got?
Well, I went with the scientific route, and that's humorous.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
This is the one.
Any bone pun works here. Any bone pun works. Lisa?
I actually went with the Jack Skeleton and said 0.
Zero's a good one.
Zero. Oh, sure.
Carol Stein, what do you got? You know this game, Carol, right? You know the 181 go into a bar. Bartender says, "Get out of here." What do you got, Carol? I know I put you on the spot now.
Nobody.
Yeah, you got it. What am I in body?
That's a good one.
That's a real good one.
James, what do you got?
You don't have the bones to. Oh, look at
And we get a Jack Skellington out of it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Greg Jacobs, what do you got?
Yeah, I just kind of went with the Halloween theme. Holy Ghost.
Holy Ghost.
Todd Pickering, what do you got?
Bones.
And Trinice, did I get your answer? I don't think so.
No, but I went with yours. I've got a bone to pick with you.
Oh,
there
nice.
we go. Give Trinice a point. Give her a bonus point.
A bonus point.
Oh gosh. All right. So Todd Pickering, what's the score?
So you're giving Trinice another point?
She gets a bonus point.
All right, then it's 4-1.
Don't call it a comeback.
Trinice has got 4. And
Shelley has 5.
Shelley still has 5.
Oh, no, 6. Dave Kent has 1. Alexander has 1, and I have 93 points. Since we're just
You have
giving
93 points.
It's amazing how he gets that.
I'm winning.
obviously, for that Todd Pickering, we have to do the Todd Pickering promotional moment, and it goes like this.
I'm called Todd Pickering. Yes, that is my name. I'm here every Wednesday. I walk of fame.
That's my Walk of Fame Wednesdays on YouTube. Check it out. I do a lot of Disney ones. There's done almost every Disney one.
How come I can't find? Oh, here's the banner for you. There he is. These
There
are
we
California Star. All right.
See, I even figured this out after 28 weeks or how long we've been doing this.
Yeah, week 22, and right is right, right is left, and left is right, and yeah, I'm still not very good at it.
Up is easy. We got down and up at least.
All right, Jeremiah's got a frame going. He can easily point to Trinice. Up is easy and down is easy. There, Carol, waving.
Well, I like
Carol. All right. So Jeremiah, you're trailing. So let's give the final question to you. Let me put them on the screen. And we've got 9, 12, 15, 19, 21, and 22. What would you like?
19.
Number 19. Number 19 is named for the color of the pants worn by a member of the creative team. Monica Blue is the color of Disney Cruise Line ships. Blank is the color of guests that ignore the warnings on the orange side of Epcot's Mission Space.
Oh, come on, everyone can get this one.
Blank is the color of guests that ignore the warnings on the orange side of Mission Space. I think this is probably the easiest question in the batch. Here we go. Come on, there we go.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jeremiah's got a real chance to catch up here. All right.
Beep, beep.
All right, Trinice, you're going to have a tough one now because I think that was possibly the easiest question in the batch.
So easy.
Let's see. So let me get the question engine back on the screen so you can pick from the remaining questions for your final question of the game. And I need to put them on the screen. There we go. We've got 9, 12, 15, 21, and 22. Which one would you like?
Let's go 12.
Number 12. Question number 12 is, this one might get you some points. One of the joys of a Disney resort hotel stay is a wake-up call from our pal Mickey Mouse. In classic Disney attraction fashion, however, every now and then something goes horribly wrong, and instead you may get a call in the middle of the night from blank.
Oh, man.
One of the joys of a hotel stay is a call from Mickey. When something goes horribly wrong, you get a call in the middle of the night from blank. Ready? Let's write it out. Question number 12.
Wow. So many ways I could go with this.
I'm picking what's obviously the right answer, so I'm hoping everyone else is also.
Channel it to us.
Wait, what are you doing? What is? Oh, geez, Rex. All right. James, before we spend a little time chatting with others, is there anything else that Chris hasn't covered with you that you wanted to chat with us about today, since we've had you as our special guest, and appreciate you taking the time out there on the beautiful island of Maui?
Oh, yeah. Not much I could think of. I just drop by my website, silvaniart.com, and take a look at what I do.
I'll flash that up on the screen. We appreciate the drawings you've been doing during the show. It's adding something. It's adding something to this this Jibe Time event.
Absolutely.
Jealous of your Rex on the background.
Oh, hey. Plus, I got to represent some of the other.
Ooh,
Ahsoka. Oh, yes.
Nice. Good shirt. Thanks for being with us, James.
And so let me spend a moment with last week's champ, Jeremiah Good. Anything happening with you, Jeremiah?
No.
Okay.
Wow.
Well, there you have it.
Straight to the point.
No, I mean, the parks were. I was out at Disney Springs today. The Cocoa Wishables, because it is Wishable Wednesday, came out. I feel like I'm being Adrian right now and plugging stuff. The Wishables came out on.
That's great because Adrian couldn't make it tonight. Yeah. So
they came out on Shop Disney overnight and sold out promptly. So I was tasked with going to Disney Springs to get some Wishables, and they did have them. So that was the joy of the day, is feeling these little packs of Wishables while people are walking around going, "Are you okay?" Sure, I'm just sharing my touching with all of you right now during this pandemic.
I was going to say, I certainly hope you were using lots of Purell in the process.
I was probably the only person actually doing it, so that was nice. But next week, hey, if you're in Florida, make sure you visit the parks, because they're going to be kind of empty next week.
Yeah, and they're going to have fewer hours too.
Yes.
starting Tuesday, I think, right?
I'm finding the same amount of time. The park's gonna be open at 7.
So basically, Carol, the park hours are converting to your schedule now.
It's nice to them. Yeah.
All right. Jeremiah, remind me of which question number you had.
19, the color of the mission space is based on if you don't read the warning.
All right. So there's the question. We will read it one more time, and we will get your answer, and then the audience answers. Name for the color of pants worn by a member of the creative team. Monica Blue is the color of Disney Cruise Line ships. Blank is the color of guests that ignore the warnings on the orange side of mission space. And Jeremiah, who's showing his answer so I don't see his face. There we go. He's got green, which I think is probably the definitive answer. Let's see what our audience members have here. Our folks in the audience have given us...
If I match with Shelley, she gets the point.
Yeah, I was going to say, that becomes a difficult question, doesn't it? All right, let's see. How come I'm seeing...
Well, I can see him.
I see Steve has... Depends on what they ate for lunch. And there must be more for 19, right?
Oh, there's a bunch.
Okay. I've scrolled up. I've got them. All right.
Mexico is pretty close to that ride.
So, all right. So Todd, get those tick marks ready, because
I'm ready.
Right. We got Dave Kent with green.
Yep.
We've got Nan Kent with green and a green emoji. We got Tim Ellison answering for the first time. Thank you, Tim. Green. We got John Cotton with green. We've got Emily giving it, even with puke, green. Scotty's giving us green. Alex Wittenberg with the creative retort here, shades of green. Nice. All right, we can give Shelley a point for this, but she doesn't get all the other ones. Shelley's got green.
So you're just giving her one. All right.
You're just giving Shelley one for that. Yeah, because it was too easy and everybody else matched before her.
Yep.
I got red on Carl Butler. Any others for that?
I don't see.
I had, depends what they ate for lunch. I had in there
taco
all right.
color.
I don't see that one, but taco color, okay. All right.
Lisa,
really gross.
Mission Space, when it first, I'm explaining it to Lisa because she's from Disneyland Resort and doesn't understand. Mission Space is a centrifugal force ride that's based on the launch. That's what the astronauts go through training. And when it first opened, it caused many a guest to lose their lunch.
Okay, got it.
It still does.
So the green makes sense.
Still could.
Yeah, and you know, they always euphemistically referred to it as a protein spill. So
yep.
So Lisa's looking real comfortable. So maybe I should come to Lisa first for an answer.
Yeah.
Lisa, what did you give us?
Can I just get a pass? I mean, my answer is just
you could have chosen any color. Donald Duck. Okay.
Someone who doesn't listen. So hey.
All right. So we go to Chris Berry. Chris, what do you got?
That's a great answer. I matched someone in the audience with puke green. So
puke green. All right, another point.
Emily gets a point.
Mm-hmm.
Todd King, what do you got?
Green,
and he's even got a example. James, what do you got?
Technicolor.
Oh, I like that.
That's a good answer.
Carol Stein, what do you got?
Well, first I have to say, Scotty Kilwin is also awesome. He's an amazing pianist, and he always plays It's Not Easy Being Green as Kermit, so you know. But I wrote gustatory, gastric green, or Kermit green.
Can't believe I didn't write.
Give him a point for that.
Kermit
Give him a point for that. Let's see. I've done Lisa. How about Todd Pickering? What do you got?
Green.
Green.
It's wearing green.
Greg Jacobs, what do you got?
I also went with the basic green.
Green. Trinice, did you give Jeremiah a point too?
I did, but I feel like I should also get a point because I named mine Sick Guest Green, not just Basic Green.
Mm-hmm. All right, give Trinice a bonus point.
I already did.
All right.
Bonus point.
So at the end of Jeremiah's half of the round, what's the score, Todd Pickering? I think he's now wiped the floor with Chuck.
He pulled ahead a little bit.
Yeah.
He's got 15, and Trinice has 5. So
is 15 our record now? Or
yes.
Yeah, I've never heard anything that high.
So Shelley and I have to go again. So to see
I think that might be the case. That might indeed be the case. Let's bring up Trinice's question. Trinice, which number did you pick?
I picked 12.
12, that's right.
Number 12. All right, number 12. One of the joys of a Disney resort stay is a wake-up call from our pal Mickey Mouse in classic Disney attraction fashion. However, every now and then something goes horribly wrong, and instead you may get a call in the middle of the night from, and Trinice, who are you getting that call in the night? All right.
And the answer is Chernabog.
Nice.
Chernabog. All right.
Wow.
All right. So our audience,
I know that is a true
our
fan.
audience is given. I like John Cotton's answer here. He gave us ghost host.
I was going to do that, and I should have, knowing
We got for the second week in a row. Somebody has said Dr. Grant Seeker.
Who is that?
I don't know who that is.
All right, I'm gonna go to Jeremiah for the explanation.
When you're going on Dinosaur, he is the one that's changing the plans in the pre-show.
Oh, right.
You know,
wow.
Puppet guy.
Because Jeremiah is a heck of a paleontologist too.
Yes.
If I do say so myself.
Exactly. We got Goofy.
Gorsh.
Goofy.
Gorsh.
We got Sleepy.
Well, that would be a good
That would make sense, though.
I'm sorry. Dan loses another point this week. Why would Sleepy be awake in the middle of the night to make a phone call?
Very good point.
I'm sorry.
That's the snooze alarm.
Illogical.
Lisa, even though it's a different question, I'm giving you a point. Mary says Donald Duck here.
Okay.
Shelley says
So
Donald
Mary gets
Duck.
a point.
Mary gets a point. Shelley gets a point because Mary has agreed with Shelley.
Okay.
We got the guy from Pandora. I like that, Emily.
I love the guy.
The guy.
Because we're gonna fly.
Why?
We got Hades. I like that
Oh,
one.
that would have been a good one.
We got the telephone switcher from Spaceship Earth. Now there's a deep dive for
My
you with
favorite
another
character in
wrong
the park.
patch.
Alex, always with the obscurity.
Alex is really making the case that he wants to be on the show. I
Yeah.
think we'll have to have him. We've got Darth Vader.
Oh man.
Which would also be
let's see.
Mufasa.
I don't know what this one refers to.
How would you know? How would you know which one it is?
Somebody said Star Trek red shirts, and I'm not sure what that one refers to here.
I'm not a Trekkie. I don't know.
It might be the color of your shirt after you're done with Mission Space.
Apparently.
Could be, and another Darth Vader here.
Oh.
And Carl Butler says never rode Mission Space. All right.
Well, we're selling it well, aren't we?
Indeed. Let's go to our various contestants and their answers. Let's go to Jeremiah. What do you got?
Lord Vader.
Lord Vader. All right. Todd Pickering.
I thought the opposite of Mickey Mouse was Donald Duck. He'd be
All right.
angry and call you in the middle
I
of the
thought
night.
the opposite of Mickey Mouse was scary.
Shelley is
Jacob.
racking up the points.
Yeah, I went the villain route. I went with Maleficent.
Nice.
Maleficent.
She would curse.
Yeah. All right.
Curse
Lisa,
you.
what do you got?
I got Ron. He has the best voice.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
That I can actually accommodate on screen left over from last week.
Yeah.
He's in my basket, literally.
All right, James, what do you have?
Oh, Lampwick.
Oh,
Wow.
there's a deep dive. That's a very cool sketch.
Yes. Somebody
That's great.
put that one in the mail.
Who else would be calling you in the middle of the night?
Chris Berry, what do you have?
I'd be freaked out if in the middle of the night I was at Disney and Bob Chapek was on the phone.
That would be cool, actually.
Like, what is happening?
Todd King, what do you have?
Well, I give Shelley a point, and can you imagine a wake-up call sounding like this?
There we go. Another point. Another point for Shelley.
Wow.
Well done.
Nice impersonation.
Who else have I not gotten here? Have I gotten everybody? Did I get everybody?
Yeah.
No,
Carol, what do you got?
Sound of music.
Madame Leota from Haunted Mansion.
Nice.
All right.
I like that.
Snakes.
All right. Is that everyone?
I would like that.
Nobody picked the answer I had in mind because I actually remember when they were doing this on the monorail and on the hotel phone when Stitch took over everything. Sometimes you got a call from Stitch. So a call from Stitch in the middle of the night.
No.
That was where my head was at on that.
I'd rather get a call from Bob Chapek.
So after all these rounds, we've come up on the hour mark, which is where we usually call the show. And so the question, Todd Pickering, I'll put you up on the screen so you can reveal the grand final score. Todd Pickering, what is our final score?
Well, Nanette has -1, Alexander has 1, Dave Kent has 1, Emily has 1, Mary has 1, Shelley has 10, Trinice has 5, Jeremiah has 15, and like I said, I have 96. So I won.
Jeremiah is the first to actually repeat as champion. Congratulations,
Well done,
Jeremiah.
Good job.
He gets, and I appreciate the ears over the logo. Of course, this is the one I would use if Adrian were ever to win. It's the "Your Ad Here."
Your ad here.
So that brings us to the conclusion of another game. I think we've set up a rematch between Jeremiah and Shelley. I think Shelley came close and would have done better if I was giving her green points on that last round, but we just weren't going to do that. Sorry, Shelley. All right, Mouse Planet folks on here. Anybody else have articles coming up that we need to share or other details? I see Chris Berry with a finger in the air, and fortunately, it's a clean Disney finger.
It was the right one.
But of course, in Disney's fashion, it would be that. But
Right.
All
Yes.
right, what do you got, Chris?
Well, coming up Friday, I've got my top 5 list coming Friday, and this time, the top 5 cast member moments that I've experienced over my history of the great and wonderful things that those people have done for me. So and if I could just say thanks to James while I'm up. It was nice talking to you again. Nice seeing you again.
Nice talking to you. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, if for any reason we ever get back to any kind of comic convention in our lives, go to Artist Alley, seek out guys like James, buy their artwork, talk to them. It's the best time you'll have at a comic convention.
I was going to say in the meantime, we put your website back on the screen, and your works are available for sale on the site, right?
Yes. I have an online store I've opened up there. You can pick up original artwork as well as copies of the Darkwing comics, which unfortunately are out of print now. But I still have a good stash.
I've got mine.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. Anyone else on the Mouse Planet gang have anything before I go to our other guests and thank them for joining? Todd Pickering, you're raising your hand.
Sure. I just want to.
What you got, Todd?
Oh, you're going to give me a whole screen. Just want to say to our fans out there, I did go to Downtown Disney yesterday. It was Monday, and there was a queue to park. They were doing the bar thing where they wouldn't let a car in until a car left. And it was Monday at 4. And part of that could be because this weekend it's supposed to be 100 degrees down there. So maybe people were trying to get their Downtown Disney fix. And there was, I just want to you should definitely, if you want to go to the World of Disney, go make a reservation because it was an 1.5 hour wait. I didn't go in and take photos because of that.
And how do you make a reservation?
It's done their cast members will direct you, but if you just want to scurry on over, it's done where you enter the tram. So it's a big loop for social distancing. So it's like as if you were entering the tram area from the park, and Disney cast members take your name down, and it's just like any reservation you get where they ping you on your phone for you to return. And that's how they keep things social distanced in there. I don't know, maybe Greg or Chris Berry, our merchandise people, can tell me what people are buying there. but it just seemed like there was a lot of people in downtown Disney for a Monday night. So
well, I'm going to go to Jeremiah. He's got his hand up in the show, and I'm sure Jeremiah knows about merchandise. What do you know, Jeremiah?
Yesterday was the first day or the second day of the 65th
anniversary merchandise.
Yeah, at the ESPN zone that you had to book online and you could only get in there, and that was limited edition 65th merchandise limited 65th merchandise that was in there. So that was causing a lot of traffic to head in there. I know today it was like that also.
Got it.
All right. Anything else to share, Jeremiah?
Nope.
Thanks for coming back. I guess you against Shelley next week if you're available. Trinice, I'm going to bring Trinice back on the screen. Unmute yourself, please. Thanks so much for joining. I hope you had fun, even though Jeremiah got the easy question and it was all just random numbers. So
next time.
I mean, Todd Pickering has a comment on that too, saved up here in our queue. It goes like this.
The answer is easy. It's elementary.
See? Trinice, thanks so much for joining. It's great to see. It's great to virtually see you. Hopefully we'll get to see you in person out there or down here one of these days.
Definitely.
Carol Stein, thanks so much for joining at the last moment. I hope you had fun.
I did.
Anything else you want to share?
I have to say I'm really totally impressed with how Disney's handling everything for safety reasons, and it's fun. The food at the showplace where I am, they have different stations. I was invited to try and sample everything, which I did. I mean, it was really good. And then they have these extra things. Guests have been really pleased because things are different. And they have these like promenades with, it's very cool. The way they're doing things is great. And it's a lot of fun. And I think everybody's really feeling safe and very impressed with Disney, as they always usually are. So yeah, thanks for having this, and I appreciate you having me in the last minute. Come on.
Was there a food item that you liked that you sampled that was new and different?
Yeah, lots actually. They have this. I like chocolate. Hey, they have this dessert. It's like a chocolate brownie cakey thingy that they stick in a ganache, and then they put Twix on it, and it's frozen with that. What's that quick freeze stuff that you?
The nitrogen, the frozen nitrogen. Yeah.
It's definitely delicious. And then they have these. They have four gourmet macaroni and cheeses. One with lobster, one with garlic brisson, one with there's just 4 of those. And they have all these fancy drinks. And then they have spanakopita. And then they have there's the seafood in a little bowl with scallops and lobster, and it was just really impressive.
That's great.
Yeah, it was good. And everybody comes in. Sits in, and where I am, you get to come in and sit or stay in by a table, and you get to take off your mask when you're eating. And then if you go to get more food, you have to put your mask on, and then you go get the food. So you get air conditioning without your mask. So everyone likes that.
And Disney Parks blog has published that mac and cheese recipe. So for folks who want to try to make the mac and cheese without the various toppings you mentioned, that can be a cooking challenge for our Mouse Planet regulars when we were doing cooking segments. Seemed like a lot of butter and cheese in that thing, but it seems like quite the adventure if you want to make it. The mac and cheese that they've had at various food and wine fests before has been fantastic. That's always been one of my favorites. Of course,
I'm sorry. Go
ahead.
I was just saying, and don't miss at the Amgar Theater, the mariachis, instead of at Mexico, they're on the stage. And the sound is magnificent, and they look so fabulous. And they did such a good job of staging, so everybody's safe. And then the jammers too. So it's different. You have live entertainment. It's different and it's fun. But those guys, I do my walk around after work, and I just love going to listen to them. Such great musicians.
Very good. Thanks so much. Anybody else got anything before we say goodbye? No? I am particularly amused that Shelley was disappointed that she didn't win. So again, congratulations, Jeremiah. Thanks, James, for joining us. Thanks, Carol, for joining us. Thanks to our Mouse Planet regulars. And of course, thanks to Trinice for challenging. This has been, and Chris is showing off Darkwing Duck, the comic book. And is James going to hold something else up? Let me solo him up on the screen.
Oh, he's got the ray gun.
He's got a ray gun. There we go. All right. So from all over the U.S. this week, including in the middle of the Pacific, thanks everyone for joining us on Mouse Planet Live. We'll see you on week number 23. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.